Adam is a big Liverpool fan. Adam, I'm sitting alongside Stuart Pearce. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Jim. Good morning, Stuart.
How are you? Okay.
Yeah, all good, yeah. I just wanted to get a bit of an insight from Stuart, really, back in when he was playing and as to now. I just feel like the English press are just so negative on everything we do. Even when we do well, it's negative. And I looked for the newspapers out of interest in Germany and Holland, and they're all positive. Even when they lost, they're positive. I just don't get why we have that mentality. I just wanted Stuart's input on that.
I think we're so desperate for success in this country at national level that it builds up in such a sort of intensity that it ends up being like that. What I would say is I think the press are more supportive now, and I don't know whether I say that because I've sort of half got a foot in the press and, you know, work within the press a little bit more. I get a feeling that the press are more supportive now than certainly they were 20 or 30 years ago. I had a feeling that there was individuals around that would... It's a better story if we failed rather than we were successful.
Was that really the case, Stuart?
I had that impression when you consider what it was like to be an England manager and some of the abuse, if you like, that the likes of Bobby Robson got, Graham Taylor got, and the list goes on. I don't see that with Gareth at the moment, and I don't see it with the media of this country as much, I've got to say. But make no mistake, we are so desperate for a modicum of success that... I think we build it up, and we will do over the next, you know, however many hours we've got until the German game, and then it'll either take off and explode and we'll go crazy, this country, or alternatively it will go the other way and it's all doom and gloom, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But it's a great point that you make. We've got to have a level slant on where we're going, just to give the players room to breathe in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that the media is very much with England, from what I see down here.
Yeah, I get that feeling. I
get
that feeling. We're desperate for the team to do well.
Yeah. We mentioned earlier, Stuart, after going out to Denmark in the last 16, Wales defender Chris Gunter has hit out at the Euros joke setup. I mean, he gets very heavy with it, actually. He says, written off before a bag of air was kicked, 3,000 miles from home, every nation had fans wherever they went, apart from the 350 who broke the government rules and their bank accounts to be there. You and us deserve more from this joke setup of a tournament, but who said life was fair? Matt's a Leicester fan who wants his say on that. Matt, good morning. What do you think of Chris Gunter's comments on this? Do you think life has been unfair on the Welsh?
I think he's an absolute joke. I think it's an embarrassment hearing what he's got to say. I mean, it's one of the things that used to annoy me with South American footballers when they used to come to the Premier League and they couldn't adopt the lifestyle. You're a millionaire in a millionaire's house, in a millionaire's lifestyle. Of course, that doesn't equate to being happy, but lifestyle is interchangeable. In our minds, as people that have to pay for holidays and package deals, we think about going to the Copacabana or being in a miserable house in dull and dreary Leicester. And it's the same for this. The travel isn't a package deal where your knees are touching your chin. It's going to be private chartered flights with the very worst first class. And so that's just a personal thing that I find very annoying. But what would they have done? Refused to go to USA 94 when it was 3,000 miles between some venues? What would they done? Refused to go to Brazil when it was over 1,500 miles between venues?
Yeah, but Matt, I mean, I think Stuart and I were in agreement, were we not, Stuart, that he's hurting at the moment. And those are comments that show the guy is hurting. Had Wales qualified, you wouldn't be hearing Chris Gunter speak like this.
Well, the thing is, what they have to realise is don't get too big for your boots. It's very, very easy to qualify for these tournaments these days. Half the teams in Europe qualify for this tournament. 2 out of 3 teams in the tournament qualify for the knockout stages. But yet, on all these phone-ins, you hear Welsh fans saying, oh, you know, we're going to do better than England, we're going to repeat the success for last year. Why don't you wind it in at the very beginning, and then maybe I'll have some sympathy for you at this moment in time.
Matt, listen, thanks for the call, mate. Very passionate call on that. I mean, he says it's very easy to qualify. It's taken Scotland 23 years to qualify, Stuart. No, it's not that easy.
No, but the point that he's made is literally this. 52, I think, or 50 or 52 countries in Europe, and... You know, however many are at this tournament, half or more than half are at the tournament as such. So, and the third place team's getting through. So, he has a point on that one.
Well, he's not having Chris Gunter's comments whatsoever. I wonder if George, the Chelsea fan, is. George, good morning.
Morning, guys. Great show as always. Morning, Stuart.
Morning, George.
Thanks, George. I know you. Crack on, mate.
Yeah, I do think it's unfair on Wales. I think that, they had this tournament where they were spreading it across Europe, right? They should have had some games in Cardiff. How can you have what we've got at the moment? However many are allowed in Wembley, I don't know what it is, 20-odd thousand. But then you go to Turkey and they've got 50-odd thousand.
Well, it's up to 40,000 tomorrow, George. Yeah, at Wembley. Yeah.
But the game the other day with Wales, they're playing over there. They didn't have any fans whatsoever. And of course, I know everyone says it goes on atmosphere and stuff like that, energy coming down from the terraces onto the pitch. But if they haven't got any fans there getting behind them and everybody's cheering on Denmark, that's going to take its toll on them. I think it was totally unfair, really.
Well, George, I mean, I must admit, I go with you on it to an extent because, Stuart, England, every game at Wembley, I mean, they're hardly complaining, are they? Even Scotland, our game's up there. We came down to Wembley, but I mean, the other two were at Hampden. And we've said it before, but is it arduous as such getting off and on flights? Because that's basically what it boils down to. Once you're there, hotel, game, airport, home. Compared to the others, did they get a raw deal?
Compared to the others, you'd have to say yes, compared to the others, because someone had to go to Baku. And if you're a Western European side, it's a bit of a trek.
Right.
But when you consider the style of travel this day and age, you consider you can get into Baku whenever you want and prep whenever you want. You've got both games there, so you're not playing one, then going to Rome, then coming back to Baku, So in that respect, I don't think it's that arduous. But then again, I enjoy travelling anyway. So
sure.
It's, I can understand they've probably had the worst deal from most countries or any country within this tournament. But the worst isn't that bad in my world.
They're coming in thick and fast. There's Gary Fishlock this morning. How can you even ask the question, have Wales been hard done by? They were completely screwed over. Chris Gunter and the whole of the Wales team were complaining about travel well before they were knocked out. I'm not entirely sure that was true. But we would be hearing a very different sound from Chris Gunter had Wales overcome Denmark. Of that, there is no doubt. I'm certain of it.
Well, I think it was mentioned before. Baku was always the draw that you thought,
you want to avoid it.
Yeah. But then again, look at the Germans. The Germans have got to come to Wembley tomorrow.
Yeah.
With whoever's in the crowd, majority England fans.
Yeah.
So straight away, you've got that, disproportionate situation. If we get past them and we've got to go to Rome, we come back, there's 2 games at Wembley in the semi and final.
Right.
So it's loaded in England's favour in regard to the things. I'm just saying, other teams, would they turn around and say it isn't fair? It's loaded in England's direction.
Right. I'm Scottish. I don't know if you've noticed, but you've got me going with that.
No, I didn't notice.
The Germans are coming to Wembley. Oh, yes, they are. It's coming up to 11:15.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.